Hi there, welcome to Nappy Invest. One of the main benefits for me personally in doing this video series on looking at companies that achieved an operational cash flow positive June quarter is that I am discovering and learning about new companies that I knew very little about before they released their Appendix 4C for the June quarter. That is definitely true for the company I'll be focusing on in this video, SKS Technologies. If you ask me what this company did before 1 week ago, I would not be in the right ball field. I would not have gotten close to what this company does. So before we look at SKS Technologies Appendix 4C for the June quarter and find out whether this is an investment grade company, let's look at a few facts in regards to this company. To tell you what SKS Technologies do, I thought I'd let the company speak for themselves. I went to their website and I found a little bit of a description there in what they do. So here it is. SKS Technologies deliver advanced technology through digital transformation via creative design and installation of converged AV/IT, electrical and communication networking solutions. Quite a bit in that which goes over my head, but it seems to me what this company does is to set up communication networking systems for their clients. Maybe that's the simplest explanation, but it may not be absolutely complete. Decode for SKS, well, naturally enough, it is SKS. Market cap $25 million. They do have a fair bit of revenue, $21.5 million in the trailing 12 months. And based off their Appendix 4C, that looks like it's going to be climbing for the new financial year. Operating cash flow in the trailing 12 months, $1.8 million. So that trailing 12 months was to the end of December 2020. We'll be getting some new numbers when they release their full-year financial report in August, so that should be coming within the next 3 to 4 weeks. If you do want more information on this company, you can go to the Appendix 4C released on the 23rd of July, or you can look at some of their presentations they've released. And a really good way to learn about a company is go straight to the source, straight to their website. Whenever I see Appendix 4C released, I tend to skip all the activities of the company over the past 3 months. And for some companies, that can last about 20 pages. And I go straight to the numbers of the Appendix 4C. I want to let the numbers speak for the company, because when you look at all the commentary about the last 3 quarters that the company has written, they will spin it quite positively any way they want. So I want the numbers to speak for the company. I don't want the company to speak for themselves. And then if I do like the numbers, I usually just go back to the commentary or the activities report and see how the company is spinning it. And with SKS Technologies, we do see something very positive when they talk about their results. And what they're focusing on is what I tend to focus on when I look at the numbers and when I look at every single Appendix 4C for a company. SKS Technologies management are focusing on cash flows from operations, and they're looking at the trend there, and they're also looking at cash receipts from customers. Those are the 2 things I tend to focus on in every Appendix 4C. And for the fact that the management of this company is doing the exact same thing is a massive tick in favor of this company. Before we look at the June quarter results for SKS Technologies, I just want to go back to the March quarter and see how this company was progressing at this point in time, and then see how they have progressed over the past 3 months. Receipts to customers for the March quarter, $7.5 million, and they were operational cash flow negative by $1.2 million. So it wasn't the most fantastic results, and in fact, if I did see this Appendix 4C, I probably would have almost completely ignored it, because one of the other things I did notice when you look at the Appendix 4C for SKS Technologies is the end cash at the end of the March quarter was only $50,000. And they did mention they do have $2.5 million of unused facilities or financing facilities they can use to maintain cash to be used in operations. So there wasn't a threat that there wasn't going to be any cash issues with this company because of those financing facilities. But the very fact they were operational cash flow negative and they didn't have much on cash at the end of the quarter probably meant when I did see this Appendix 4C in April of this year, I probably would have skipped it and completely ignored the company. And that's maybe why I really haven't looked at this company in the past. The situation has improved for SKX Technologies over the past 3 months. In fact, receipts from customers has increased by a fair bit, up to $10.9 million for the quarter. And we did see product manufacturing operating costs come down by about $800,000. However, on the other side, staff costs have almost doubled in the past 3 months, up to $4 million. So even though costs in one area have decreased, costs in another area have increased, but the very fact that receipts and customers has increased over the past 3 months meant the company was operational cash flow positive by $742,000 for the quarter, and we can see the numbers for the 12 months to date. Receipts to customers up to almost $35 million. So the revenue numbers more than likely have increased by a fair bit over the past few years, and they are operational cash flow positive in the financial year by $1 million. However, they did receive $1.5 million in government grants and tax incentives. So if you take that away, they're still operational cash flow negative and still a low amount of cash on hand at the end of the quarter, only $109,000. So that is a little bit of an issue for me right now moving forward for this company. SKS Technologies have only released Appendix 4Cs over the past 4 quarters, which probably means ASX asked them to start releasing quarterly reports because we do have a fair bit of financial history in this company. And in fact, we do have financial history going back to 2008 here. It probably goes even further back, but I just wanted to see how this company has performed over the last 13 years. And it is not pretty at all. This is the revenue and the cash flow from operations on a yearly base, not half-yearly base, but a yearly base. And nothing really has been happening with this company over this time. No significant increase in revenue, although if you discount the first 6 years and just focus on the last 6 years, you probably could say revenues have started to grow. So that is one thing maybe you do have going for, this company has going for them. And when they release their new financial year numbers, in about 3 to 4 weeks, more than likely, we will see revenue reach a record high for this company. Over the past 3 years, they've received about $25 to $27 million of revenue, and more than likely this year, we're going to see that number reach between about 33 and 37 million. So it will be a record year. But the thing I really focus on when I don't see revenue growing all that greatly is to look at the cash flow from operations. And the main thing you will see with SKS Technologies is they are or tend to be operational cash flow negative on a continual basis. In fact, the last time they were operational cash flow positive was way back in 2010. So that's 10 years this company has been operational cash flow negative. But there is a chance this year might be a little bit positive simply because of the government grants and tax incentives. So that's one thing this company does have going for them, increasing revenues over the past few years. And they have become operational cash flow positive, but that's all thanks to the government. And to be honest with you, we don't see much interest in SKS Technologies when we look at the chart for this company going back to 2011. This is the weekly chart. And the reason I can fit a weekly chart over a 10-year period is because there's large periods of time here when there's not much trading in this company, particularly in the past, going back 8 or 9 years ago. We have seen a bit of an increase in volume over the past year, particularly around the COVID-19 financial panic when the share price of SKS Technologies fell all the way down to 3.5 cents. And the recovery has been quite stellar. Share price has gone from a bottom of 3.5 cents to a current share price of 23.5. And you could argue with me that the share price has moved into an uptrend right now. And if these solid financial numbers continue over the next year, this could be an interesting, good value play. But at this point in time, there's a lot of questions about SKS Technologies that I do want answered. I'd like to see this financial strength in the company continue. I'd like to see the company become operational cash flow positive without help from the government. And I'd like to see the management continually focusing on cash flows from operations and increasing cash receipts from customers. There are a plethora of companies I need to do a video on to complete my mission on covering every single company that achieves an operational cash flow positive quarter. Fortunately, the next 4 companies I'll be looking at or do a video on are 4 companies I do think quite highly on. And they include 2 of my favorite companies on the ASX, which are EOS or Electro Optic Systems and SciDev. I am thinking more highly of BetMakers, and ML Solution has been a bit of a surprise over the past 6 months in regards to their quarterly cash flow report. So have a look out for those 4 videos during the next week or so. Hope you've enjoyed this June quarter Appendix 4C about SKS Technologies. Even though I do have a better understanding of what this company does, if I had to give an elevator pitch in favor of this company, I would still have trouble. So if you know a little bit more about this company, and I have a hard time believing anyone watching this video would know more about this company than I do, but if you do, I'd love to hear your comments in favor or against this company. So leave it in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I am not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this episode. Have a good day. Bye.